morning. It's Monday, February 22nd. And so let's take a look what you're doing for math today. We're going to start with a warm up. And so if you could make sure right now that you have your notebook out or the line paper that you've been working on with your two steps over the last week and a pencil. I will meet you back here when your supplies are all set in front of you. So you'll pause the video, get everything ready to go, and I will show you the warm up next. Okay, so today's warm up, you have 5 questions, and they all have to do with two steps. They're definitely problems that we've talked about throughout last week. And so the first one should look fairly familiar. You're going to tell me which person, which student is starting to solve the two-step equation correctly and starting to isolate that variable and solve for n. And then 2 through 5, you're going to walk through those two steps, meaning you're going to write those problems down, you're going to show the steps, and you're going to find your answer for those variables. So take maybe I'd say maybe 5 to 6 minutes to finish and go through those. And then meet me back here and I will show the answers and go over it with you. If you want to use a seat partner, a pod partner, however your crew teacher would prefer you to work through them, please do so, or you can work independently on them. I'll meet you back here in a few. Okay, so let's take a look at your warm-up questions and see how you did. So number 1, Jordan definitely was solving the problem correctly. He was isolating the variable and he was eliminating what was being added to the problem. And by doing that, he was using the subtraction property of equality. So Jordan was solving the two-step problem correctly. Number 2, 3x minus 10 equals 8. So if you walk through those steps there, then you should have gotten x equals 6. Number 3, right next to it, 8x minus 3 equals 45. Again, walking through those the steps showing the work like we've done over the last week, you should have seen also that you would have gotten an answer of x equals 6. Number 4, negative 3p plus 8 equals negative 10. Also, you should have an answer of p equals 6. It's kind of strange that those worked out that way because I didn't plan it that way. So far, 2, 3, and 4 all have answers of 6. Number 5, negative 2w minus 8 equals 4. And then also you should have got an answer of w equals negative 6 this time. So if you got any of these wrong, if you were stuck on any of those or didn't show the work correctly, make sure you do pause it here and you do get the work down. You do see the answers, you get those corrected so you have the right ones on your lined paper. And then if you have further questions, by all means, right, we talk about how you can always get a hold of one of your math teachers. So now that the warm-up's through, let's take a look at what you're doing for the rest of the hour. So I'm going to bring the agenda back up. And right underneath the warm-up here, so Chapter 6, Lesson 4, two-step equation review. So tomorrow on Tuesday, we're planning on a two-step equation quick check in Schoology, which is just an assignment grade. But to prepare for that and get ready for it, I have you doing 2 things. So you'll see where it says that quiz, and then it says follow directions in the video. So I'm going to show you those directions just in a few minutes. And then quizzes on Google Classroom. So those 2 resources is going to give you some of that extra practice that you need to work on your 2 steps. When you do these, my suggestion again is to use your line paper, work that problem or those problems out as you go through them. So again, you're just reinforcing and practicing the steps that you have to show. So let's talk about that quiz. So right here, this is thatquiz.org. And so you'll go underneath the integers column and go to algebra. And when you click on that, over here on the left-hand side, right now it's set for a length of 10. I would probably leave it at that. If you want to, you could go up to 20. Just depends on the amount of time you have in class today. If you start with 10 and then get through even quiz is, if you want to come back here and do 10 more, that's fine. Start with a length of 10 and always here for the purpose that we need it for, I'm going to have you stay on 3, level 3. So it's actually set at that already. And the last thing you have to do is check mark solve for X. And that's it. That's how your settings should look to work through these 10 problems. So these are 2 steps, but I did notice there's a couple 1-step equations that pop up, like the one that you're seeing in front of you right now. And this is very basic, right? What plus 1 is going to give you 4? Well, 3. Okay, and then you'll start to see some 2 steps pop up. There might be 1 or 2 1-step problems that go in, but that's okay. That's a good review as well because your test is coming up on Friday. So this is the first thing that you're doing. Make sure you go through those 10 problems, and when you feel good about those, then you are going to come here, and on the Math Google Classroom, there is a Chapter 6 2-step equations. There's just 2 quizzes links here for you to practice those. Actually 2 weeks ago, we had you doing 1-step equations. So make sure you're looking at 2-step equations, these 2 quizzes games. I want to say there's between 10 to 15 questions on each of those that you can practice. And so back to the agenda. Okay, so work through those 10 questions on that quiz first, following those directions that I just went over in the video. And if you don't remember what I did or what I showed you, you can go back, right? Go back in the video and take a peek, and then go into quizzes. I left the integer rules on here. There's a link for these if you still need those. And then just keep in mind, like I said, the 2-step equation quick check is tomorrow. The equations test is Friday. And that means all of your Chapter 6 assignments are due Friday as well. So that would be your 1-step equation and 2-step equation quick checks that you are completing within this chapter. That would be due by Friday. And of course, we're doing ALEKS, your 5 topics learned, by Sunday, February 28th. So that sets your day up for today on Monday. And I will see you back tomorrow. So have a great morning.